everybody. It's a 2019 Honda Odyssey. Do my rear brakes. This is the one that has electrical parking brake. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can buy a tool to tell the car that you're working on the brakes. You'll retract the piston and all that. But I'm doing the one where you just manually crank it in yourself. And never done it before, so see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't fault out and you have any problems with it. So first thing that I do is take the wheel off. Alright, so this is your rear caliper. This is the rear electrical parking brake and the motor and all that. You do not want to disconnect this wire, you get a fault. You just want to take this motor off, and there's held on by two torque head screws. It's a T30 screw. Take those two screws out, you can pop this off, then you can get to the mechanism in here. And this mechanism is what the motor pushes the piston in and pulls it out. And you're supposed to crank that all the way back so that when you push your pistons manually, they go all the way in. But you got to get this all the way back to the bottom out position in order to push the pistons in. And you're supposed to crank this clockwise. So let me take the motor off, crank this back, and then once we do that, the rest is just like a regular piston. Pushing the piston, like a regular caliper, you're just pushing the pistons and change the pads out. Alright, let me get something to crank that off with. Like I say, you got two torque head screws, T30s. Can't really get to it. One. Another thing, when you start doing this, you cannot have your parking brake engaged. You gotta have it off. You will not be able to do this with the parking brake engaged. That's number 2. You should be able to just pop this off. See, it's like a little motor, torque set in there. Just pull it to the side, keep it out of the way. Inside there should be a T40 torque. It's not quite a 240, but I believe you can use a 240 to pull it all the way back in. There you go. Just bombed all the way out. Now we should be able to push these pistons all the way in. So the same thing. Slow pressure. There you go. Now I got some play in the caliper. Now I can start taking this apart. Alright, first things first. You want to take your pins out, your calipers out. This is a 13 millimeter, so you got 2 bolts you got to take out. Now this one's spinning on me. So your pin, which your bolt screws into, is spinning on me. So, where's my wrench at? Alright, so when I'm trying to crank this off, the whole pin is spinning on me where the bolt's bolted into. Now normally this is a 17 millimeter, but my 17 millimeter wrench is too wide. It's got a little lip here on this bolt, on this pin. You can also, I can feel where somebody's running the same problem. You can buy thin head bolts. I mean thin head wrenches. I don't have a pair on me, so I'm gonna do what the previous mechanic did. Put a pair of channel locks on it, so we can break free. Anyway, it wasn't much. Now that I got it loose, I can now probably put the little space here. I can put the wrench on it. So now I can get the wrench in there because it's got a little space. It wasn't much force. One off. Let's see if this one will spin on me. Man, that's on there good. Wow. Starting to spin on me. See if I can get this in here. Nope. These pair of channel locks, don't crush it. Just need to put a little tension on it. There you go. There you go. See, I know we just get a hook it up, and then hang somewhere out of the way. Now I want to take the bracket out If I wasn't taking the bracket out, all I could do is just change the pads, but I want to change the rotor too, so let me pop these out real quick. Now your indicator is on this pad, which is the back. It's on the bottom. So let's take this off now. And I believe it's a 17. Alright, let's take this bracket off now. It's a 17 millimeter in the back. Let's see. Have to get a persuader out for this one. It's coming. One. Gotta move this caliper out of the way. The hose is right in line where I gotta crank. Let's see if I can hang it somewhere else. Wow, there we go. Put your hand on the bracket so it doesn't fall. Taking the last bolt out. There's the two bolts. Now, I had this done professionally, and they use a lot of anti-seize on the bolts. Still plenty on there. So, you can bracket off, and I'm going to work on these pins in a second. Rotor. There's one screw in here. I'm going to knock that off. And I use an impact screwdriver. Basically, you hit it with a hammer, and it slowly cranks off. Yep. That should just pop off. Doesn't just pop off. You hit it with a hammer. So they even put anti-seize around here, which is a good idea. I always put a little bit of anti-seize. There's no rust or anything like that. Nothing around here. Now if this is all rusted up, I'll get a wire wheel or something to grind it off, clean it all up, but they did a good job here, so there's nothing I got to do. Now here's a new rotor from AC Delco. Sometimes rotors, they got oil on them. They're packaged with oil. You got to clean it off. These aren't. They're nice and dry. So you don't have to spray them down with a brake cleaner and clean them off. Just put a lot of paw prints on them with the oily fingers. I'll try not to do that. I always put this screw back in. Either put a new one in, or this one's actually not that bad, so I'm just going to reuse it. Some people say you don't have to do it. I just do it anyway. Don't see any harm. Give it a good crank. Now let's work on the little pins in the bracket. There's the bracket. Take these clips out. You don't need these clips in there anymore. I always get a little wire brush. Just where the clips were. Same as the other side. Get a little brake cleaner. Then I'm going to work on these pins. I'm going to pop them out. Clean the old grease off of them. Sometimes I'll pop them back in to see if I can get any more of that old grease. Pull it out. And I just get some brake caliper grease. Now you don't want to put it on the tip because you don't want to compact grease in that shaft, so you put it on the sides. You don't need much. Some fresh grease on there. Plop it in. Move it around. Now you don't want to see how it bounces back? You don't want to bounce back. You got air in there. You want to kind of pull back on the boot, and you hear the air popping out. And that's what you want. You want to move freely, but you don't want to pop, pushing back out on you. Spin it around a couple times, move it up and down. Looks good. Do the same on the other side. Pop it out. This one has a little rubber, I guess, gasket or something on the end of it. That's why I do these things one at a time. Sometimes this will swell up. It looks good still. Give it a spin, get some more old grease out. Hit it with some new stuff. Same as last. Drop it in. Get a little spin. See how it pops out? Got to bleed the air out of it. I just pull back on that bushing a little bit. So it pops out a little bit. There you go. That's what you want. Alright, time to put the clips in. And before I put the clips in, whatever little bit of grease I have left on this brush, I just plop it down this little channel. Nothing crazy. It's not really a lubricant, it's more to try and stop the rust and all that to build up. Because you don't really lubricate anything here. You got the clips on, and the pad's supposed to ride inside the clips. But if you get any rust or anything underneath it, it'll push those clips up. You don't want that. So you just pop these in. These things, like I say, they're universal, so they only go in one way. And that's it. Now we're ready to put it back on. So nobody will put some other anti-seize on here, but they got plenty on here, so I'm not worried about it. I get your bracket, slide it in. one started. Let's get two started. Alrighty, so 17 millimeter. Just tighten them up. And then you're supposed to torque them down to 65 pounds torque pressure. So once I got that tightened down, 65 pounds of torque pressure. Actually, this won't work because this is actually, the head is actually hitting this. So let me see if I got an extension. That might be too much. That'll work. There you go. Let's see, this is going to be too much for this one. Extension's too much for that. Back to normal. There you go. Just take a look at this caliper. A lot of times I just give it a little, stay away from the rubber part of the piston. They look pretty good. So I'm not going to really mess with it. I'll hit it with a wire brush, but I say it looks pretty good. Time to put the pads in. Alright, time to put the pads in. Now when I took these pads out, they had the wear indicator on your back pad, which you're supposed to have on your back pad, but they had it down on the bottom. Now I've always been told you want, on the rotation of the tire going forward, you want it at the end. So you should have it up top. I could be mistaken. But to me, if you're mainly going forward, you got that wear indicator hitting against your pad instead of being pulled away from your pad. I don't think it really matters that much. I'm sure I could be wrong. I could be right. But I'm going to put it up top because I was told by an old timer a long time ago, like, you could have been wrong, who knows, that you want it up top, or you want it the way your tire rotates forward. You want it in the back end. So leave a comment. Let me know if I'm wrong or right. I'm sure there's going to be debate about it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm definitely wrong. But that's the way I want to put them in. Maybe I can get them in there. Get a little tricky to get on. once the pads are in, I get a little caliper grease and just grease up the back end where your caliper is going to hit and your piston is going to hit. That's that. I'll slide the caliper back on. Get your 2 bolts. Tighten. Yep, that's some spinning on me. And snug. Same thing, spinning on me. Using a channel lock, you want to be careful of that rubber bushing around that pin. You don't want to pinch on that at all. Now they need to be torqued down to 16 pounds of torque pressure. There's one. There you go. All back together. Now we got to put this motor back on. Hopefully it just pops in easily. You got to kind of line up those teeth. I think mine just popped in easily. Sometimes you got to wiggle it around a couple times. But I'll count my blessings and put a screw in it. There's one. I don't have a torque spec on this. I'm just going to tighten them down. I'm sure there is somewhere a torque spec. Just know your motor has plastic. So there's a plastic clip on it. You don't want to crush it too much. You're going to break the clip. But you don't want it coming loose. Should be good. Alright, so that's all back together. Get your electric parking motor back on. Everything's all lubed up and ready to go. I'm going to put the tire back on, and I'm going to finish doing the back brake. And then when I do the other back brake, I'm first going to extend the piston out by pushing the pedal down like halfway a couple times. You don't even need the engine on, you just push it in and out a couple times to push your piston out. Then I'll start the engine up, do the same thing, make sure the brakes seem like they're working. And then I'll engage the parking brake. Now that should be self-adjusting, should push it out, stop, and pull it back in. So, but I'm first going to do the other side, get that all ready to go. So I'm going to put the tire back on and move on over to the other side. Alright, this is 22 millimeter, and it's 94 pounds of torque. I'm gonna have to lower this down and get it. Let me drop it. There you go. It's 94 pounds of torque pressure. One done. On to the next one. Alrighty, let's say haven't started the engine up. I did both back brakes. I'm going to slowly start pumping the pedal down. I'm going to do like halfway down. Starting to get resistance. There you go. I got resistance now on the pedal. That should be fine. Before I start up, I'm going to go check underneath the hood, check the level in the master cylinder, the brake fluid. So plenty of pressure now, so I know my pistons have probably been pushed back out. And let's go check that underneath the hood, see what it looks like. There's the master cylinder. Fluid was down lower, it's up now, but your max line's up here, so it hasn't hit the max line yet. It's got up there, so I think it's still good. Well, let's start the car up, see how the brakes feel. Alrighty, so the reservoir looked good. Let's start her up, see what she feels like. No warning signs. Brake pedal feels good. I'm giving it a couple pumps. I'm not trying to slam it in the ground. I'm just nice soft pumps, going about halfway down, a little more than halfway. Just nice slow pumps. Alrighty, got it compressed. Let's put the parking brake on. I can feel it pull the brake pedal down. Brakes on, parking brakes on. Hit the brake again and let it go. I can feel it let goes. Let go of the brake. Do it one more time. Yep. If I pull the brake pedal down, there's brake lights on. So I think my park brake's nice and reset. Let's give it a little test ride and see how it feels. Nice steady braking, no pulling. Everything. Got my hand off the steering wheel. doesn't pull the steering wheel or nothing like that. I don't hear any dragging. Everything sounds good. Get my hand off the steering wheel. Yep. Nice straight braking. A bit of a hill, same thing. Yep, nice and straight. I'm happy with them. Oh, very good. So that's a good job. Just changed my brakes on a 2019 Honda Odyssey. Thanks for watching.